Testing.
We've done the test.
When?
Right, so we're just getting straight down into it.
Yeah.
What is this, a podcast?
Yeah.
Or a video?
It's both.
It's a pod video.
It's a pod video.
Cast pod. No. YouTube.
Pod video.
A vlog.
Vlog.
Vlogcast.
Podcast.
Vlogcast.
Vlod. Oh, it's podcasters.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Rob, and I'm joined today by the very handsome Clarky, but also Paul, who will be on camera.
No bad.
Hello.
Hiya, you all
Good
right?
morning.
Good morning.
It's quite early in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah. I've done my errands.
It's still a little bit cold.
It's very cold.
Yeah, we're into May. Apparently, global warming's going to go past the crucial 1.5 degree threshold that we don't want it to. You wouldn't think so here, though, would you?
Well, it's cold in this unit in summer, though, isn't it? Well,
I do try and keep it cold, though, and then you can warm me up.
Oh, my God.
So it is intentional. That's why you always say it's warmer outside.
Yeah.
Got lots of
Because I
fans.
don't try and warm you up. Not much, anyway.
So, Star Wars Fan Funday. We've got a bit of a kind of long video today, or podcast if you are indeed listening to this wherever you find your podcasts. But we went to Star Wars Fan Funday.
Oh, yes.
And we caught up with some of our friends there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a bit of a chat.
Yeah, well, we caught up with some guys that we'd never met as well, only via Facebook.
No, they're our friends now.
They're our friends now, yeah.
They're our friends now. None of these people that we spoke to were plants. Some we'd met, some we hadn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a massive plant.
Thank
By
you.
the way, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just chilled out a bit, talked a bit of Star Wars, and yeah,
Had a great time.
yeah. This is how it went. It was a good event, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
Did you
enjoyed
enjoy
it. I enjoyed it, yeah.
We met a few people, and we had a bit of a chat with them about Star Wars, and we were just going to share it because we want to try and get more people on the channel, don't we?
Yeah.
And talking about Star Wars is one of our favourite things. Yeah, there's some big news dropped last night, didn't it? You see that?
No, what was this?
The Disney Galactic Cruise Starship thing, whatever it was. You know, the hotel where it's immersive for 2 days and it costs you about £400,000.
Yes.
It's closing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they were just charging over the odds from day one.
Well, it was expensive, but it was all new Star Wars, so I was turned off straight away.
Really? It was just all the new stuff.
It was all new stuff. It's all Rey and
It's crazy, really.
Kylo and all that you know, First Order stuff. And
yeah, because it's crazy, really, because the people that can probably afford it are probably
exactly
people of our generation.
The people who're stupid enough,
Yeah.
who've been lifelong fans,
Yeah.
that would go and pay that money to be immersed in Star Wars for 2 days. I would do that, but not when it's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like pseudo Star Wars.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
thanks. No
Sad.
thanks.
But
anyway.
Yeah.
We talked Star Wars. We met some people that we've talked about on the channel, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we can put a face to them. And
And some regular customers as well that are now our friends.
yeah.
Yeah. So, which was nice. The first guy I met was Peter. Nice chap.
He made a beeline for you.
Yeah. He's one of the guys that watched the back scout builds. You know,
God, really?
The 6 guys you mentioned.
Oh, my, 3 guys.
6.
I don't know why you're trying to...
I always include you, Clarky, and Simon as the other 3.
3 guys.
3
Watch
guys, okay, yeah. He's
Yeah.
one of the 3 guys.
I didn't really watch it.
Yes, you did. In your towel.
Right, one time I watched it.
Yeah.
In your towel.
You got busted for that one by Andrea.
One
Yeah.
time I watched it after I got out of the shower.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were sat on the towel in the nud watching it, and she walked into the bedroom. I don't know how the hell you got away with that. I don't know. So even though Rob pretends he doesn't like me, he clearly does, doesn't he now?
Right, so you met one of your 3 audience members. That
Yes.
must have been special.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Now
great.
all you've got to do is hunt down the other 2.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've met them. That's you and Clarky. No, please. The other 2, can you come to the RS showroom, the RS studio, and I'd love to meet you. But yeah, he was a great guy. He's had a couple of helmets off us before.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did chat to him as well, but just off camera.
Oh, yeah. You probably did. You meet him on the stairs?
Well, he was putting in an official complaint.
Yeah, about you.
No, about
on
the
the
things
stairs?
that you've been saying to him.
No, right. He has a joint Facebook account, so it's his wife's name on his Facebook page. So
This is getting.
I thought I was talking to her.
This is just getting worse. Shall we have a look about?
Yeah, definitely. Before you get into more trouble.
Shall we have a look what
Yes.
what you talked about?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Peter,
Yes, Paul.
only just met you, haven't I? So,
Indeed, indeed.
Minutes ago, but it
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
like I've known you for a few years now because of
Lifetime. I'd go as
Facebook.
far as a lifetime. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've been following RS for...
Oh, I bought my first RS helmet back in 2015.
2015?
2015. You made me a HDPE or polypropylene to
Oh,
be
yeah,
correct, Anthony Forrest Signature Edition. And I was sort of really specific and precise with what I wanted from it. And it was like little marquees, little mark there. And
Yeah.
I think I kept sort of emailing Andrea and so on. And she... I think I've actually got Simon to make it in polypropylene for me, and loved it. And ever since then, I've gone on to, as and when I can afford it, I've bought another 4 or 5 of them and love them.
Wow,
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. So, is this your first Star Wars fan Funday?
I came here back in, when would it have been now? 2016.
Oh, that would have been in Burnley then, wouldn't it?
That was in
Yeah,
Burnley.
yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And then following year 2017, I trooped with Centre Squad UK, and I was one of the TKs there for those events.
Yeah.
But I've not been back since because of COVID and this, that, and so on. And had a free weekend and knew you lot were here. I
Yeah.
thought, let's go and meet them. And,
Oh, great
live
stuff.
the dream.
Yeah, and you've been following us on YouTube
Every
and-
Friday,
and-
it's almost like part and parcel of the routine.
Yeah,
always sit there. And,
as we spoke about before, well,
Yeah.
you kind of followed us just for the scout builds, didn't you, initially, and then
Of course.
moved on to everything else, didn't you?
Indeed, I am one of those 3 people,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
we agreed.
yeah.
And that's it. And favorited them, sit and watch them. It's a little guilty pleasure, that one, Paul.
Oh,
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, well, me and Clark had some fun because it was shot mostly over summer. So we'd get our little milkshake, wouldn't we?
Oh, that's it, yeah.
We'd have a milkshake delivered and have a little party and do a little bit of a
That's all,
build.
that's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
very impressed with the quality of craftsmanship and the advice and everything that you gave. It really is good. It's
Yeah, I really surprised myself as well, actually. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have to fish out every so often to to figure out how I did it.
yeah, that's it,
To
yeah.
be honest.
Look back for what you did yourself. Yeah. I said
Yeah.
take your own advice.
Yeah. So you said you've got a couple of RS helmets, have you?
Yeah, I've got the aforementioned Sandtrooper.
Yes.
I have the ABS A&H.
Yes.
I have the ABS ESP.
Okay.
And the sort of Julian McCrone is the 10th anniversary.
Yes, yeah.
HDPE helmet, which just brings a smile to my face every day.
Yeah.
Plus, I've also got the Hero helmet as well, which I got you to make up in the style of Han Solo. So
Oh, right.
the mismatch of
Yeah, the
tube
different tube
stripes
stripes,
and
yes.
so on.
Yeah.
And I was really pleased with it.
That's great, that, because it's nice when people, customers get onto us and say, "Oh, can I have it just this way?" And
That's it.
and it's doable. So we can
Exactly.
we can help out in that sense.
I think my wording on the email to Andrew at the time was, basically, I want it so that Hans put it down on the detention block.
Yeah.
And I'll come along afterwards and picked it straight up and took it home.
Yeah.
that was how I wanted it.
Excellent.
And really getting that sort of, I've always liked an attention to detail and so on, but watching you and watching Rob and Sam and everyone and looking at that detail that you go to and the way in which you do always deliver, never let me down, always accommodating my requirements, and even when it's like, I think it's done there now, particularly with that Sandtrooper one, it's like, is this right? And just sent me the picture and I was like, oh, could you just move the brow a little bit further down on the left-hand side and so on. It's like, yeah, we can do that. And within a few minutes, bang, there it was. And I love it. And like you say, that's the part of the charm with your helmets and your products, you know, being, in effect, replicas of what we all grew up loving. And at the time, we didn't see the imperfections in them. But now that's what makes it, and that's what gives it the charm, and it just immediately just connects me back to a more innocent time, a carefree time, a happier time, and Irish Props bridges that gap for me.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. Quick question.
Yes.
Favourite movie? I know it's the 40th anniversary this year of Jedi, but favourite movie?
My instinct is to say Empire,
Yes.
because I think that's what everyone would expect me to say. But I like A&H
Yes.
purely because that's where it started, and that's what taped off Granada TV. You know, with the adverts in between and so on.
Well, it was on telly few and far between, wasn't it?
For me, it was always every Christmas. I had to wait 3 years because one year did A&H and they did ESP. And then they messed up. I messed up ESP recording it because I paused the adverts for it, then forgot to unpause it. So the entire section on Dagobah I missed. So I had to wait about another 3 years.
Go and making a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you come back with your rich tea, and that was it. You forgot.
It. Or rich tea. One dunkers those are, you see, aren't they?
Well, you have to be skilled, don't you, to deal with rich tea.
Yeah, ninja-like reflexes, like your good southpaw.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Mine, even though I am mad keen on the Scout Trooper, is brilliant. It was A New Hope.
Yeah.
Just because it was the first one I watched.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah,
it's just how it all started, you know, and it could have stood alone as a standalone film, couldn't it? You know, but it just, I loved it, love it. And I watch them on a weekly basis, you know, it's one of those things really. Like I say, it just transports me back to that lovely time, really, I think. And well, another thing we've got in common then, isn't it, you see?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, also, you mentioned before, like you when you first started collecting, you got a Master Replica helmet.
Oh, yeah.
But then, I mean, we can probably beat that bit out. I don't know.
Yeah, you might
but then,
dirty words.
Yeah, but then you got an RS helmet and watching it on screen
night and day
because it's production made.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. I remember being happy with it at the time. Like I said, then I bought it side by side, and it was like, what is this? And then slowly but surely it just disappeared, and then it went down over to Mum's and stuck in the attic for a bit, and then ended up paid to a TK Commander to disguise its symmetrical ugliness.
Yeah, well, I used to have it on a shelf. You know, the classic. Is it called Kallax? The IKEA ones. This classic.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, those classic.
Yeah, and I had my first helmet next to my RS helmet for years. Then eventually I was like, oh, I'm going to eBay that. Sold it, and now I wish I kept it just as a. Because it was just a beginning to my journey.
Starting point, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I just never liked it next to the RS one.
No.
I'm being big-headed now. I don't mean to sound like that, but it's
no. And as well, really, and the price point that you sell them for the work that goes into it, I believe they are incredibly competitive and they are brilliant value for money.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
I'm not being paid to say that. I, as a customer, that they are. You know, you find the money for you get what you pay for, basically, don't you?
Yes.
Buy cheap, buy twice.
We're not paying him anything. Well, it was lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, lovely to speak to you.
Yeah. Well, it's finally nice to meet you because I've always known you as
I have an alter ego. Yeah, I use my partner's Facebook account. Long story. And that's how I befriended him. That's how I tempted him in, you see, as like one of his mums. And then slowly but surely, I've managed to wing you around now. We've got that eye contact going, you know, where, it's a romance is born.
Yeah, it turned out you'd put... To reel me in, it was like an older lady with curlers on.
Well, it was.
I thought it was an actual mother.
Yeah. I've got that game in the car. You told me to bring it. I'll meet you out there in a bit. Yeah.
Should we go now? Well, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yep. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Peter. What an enthusiastic guy.
Yeah.
That was great fun. I enjoyed talking to him, actually.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Very cool.
Yeah. Had his family there. They were a bit less interested, but he was so enthusiastic.
Yeah. And
a huge Star Wars fan.
Very.
It's nice when you see someone so enthusiastic about Star Wars. I know I am for original stuff, but it's nice when I see somebody else.
Yeah, he loved it.
So I met our friend Sam.
Sam?
Yeah, he's been in the studio a few times.
Oh, Sci-Fi Sam.
Cycling Sam.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Cycling Sam. Yeah.
Sorry, I think we need to address him in the way that we're always going to remember him, which is Sam, his wife, makes unbelievable
Yes,
lemon drizzle
yes.
cake.
Yeah.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
So Sam arrived at Funday and he'd brought with him a freshly made lemon drizzle cake by his
Lovely
made by his wife.
Yeah.
And it didn't last long, did it?
No. Oh God, it was nice, wasn't it? Sam, if you're watching, which I know you are, we've run out of lemon drizzle cake. Can you bring some more cake, please? ASAP.
But maybe we should take up cycling because he says he eats his wife cakes all the time.
Does he now?
His wife's cakes all the time.
Yeah.
And he is stick thin.
He is, yeah. Well, he's got to be, hasn't he? He owns a bike shop, so he's got to
Well,
look.
you don't get thin being a shopkeeper. You must be cycling a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's come and visit us a few
You
times.
should take a
with
leaf
bike.
out of his book, shouldn't you?
I should do.
You should do more cycling.
Yeah, but then you'd have to follow me, wouldn't you?
I'll follow you.
101
Well, I'll be in the sport car or something.
sport car.
Support car. When you get a puncture.
You'll be in the roller skate.
When you get a flat wheel.
Yeah. They'll start off flat though, won't they, with me on them?
No, that's just the tyres. I'm talking about when your wheel goes flat. Anyway, we caught up with Sam.
Yes.
I was going to explain a bit more about who Sam is, but I don't think we need to because it's in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars Family Fun Day.
Good so far,
somebody-
yeah.
I see somebody walking around in a T-shirt I recognise. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Sam Clark. Star Wars fan.
And people will know you from our Hall of Fame for this year,
Yeah,
where you submitted that amazing photograph.
thank
And
you.
you got all creative with the location.
Yeah. It was literally half a mile from where I work, so really handy to do the Photoshop in the middle of the day at lunchtime. Yeah.
I mean, looks perfect.
Yeah.
Could be off the set of Andor. It's got that
Looks a
real
bit
look to
industrial.
it.
Yeah, a bit industrial.
So just give us a little, because we look at the photograph and we're like, that's really cool. But tell us a little bit about that, because I presume you went there and then got kitted up.
Yeah, walked down with my TK in a box, and sat on a bench, freezing cold. Dog walkers walking past, wondering what's going on, and
Well, it may,
put it all
for the
on.
dog walkers,
Yeah.
it makes a change from finding a dead body, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
You know?
yeah.
It's always somebody body found by a man walking
That's
his
it,
dog.
that's it, yeah,
That's how
yeah.
it goes down.
A bit nicer to see a plastic white suited person instead. Yeah.
Yeah, and the physique as well that I can only envy, which makes the costume
Yeah.
look so much better.
Thank you. Yeah. Even though I eat loads of cake, you wouldn't think. Yeah.
You're just showing off now. I eat loads of cake, but you would think. So, first time at the event?
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about how fast Sam built some Arnold.
It wasn't a weekend, by the way. It was a week. But I still did it. You said a weekend, and it was like I wasn't that quick. No.
That was Paul. Paul's got a weekend. Well, a week is good. So you built your kit, the kit yourself that you
Yeah.
photographed in. Were you intimidated by it?
Intimidated.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like the feedback I get, and I remember going back from the very first thing I bought. I bought and then started building, and you were like, spent a lot of money on it. I'm worried that I'm going to do this wrong or that wrong. But to do it in a week, that's like a pro.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I wasn't really intimidated because I don't know, quite crafty and mechanically minded. But I think I watched all your tutorials about 10 times per video in the run up to getting it.
Wow.
So I did have a good idea what to do. And it's just a matter of measuring twice, cut once, as they say. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I think to me, like you, the enjoyable part of the props is making it as well as owning the finished piece. Yeah. The actual process. So to me, I like instead of just buying something ready done, the enjoyment is building it as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then having it at the end, and then all of the story that goes with it as well.
Yeah, and the satisfaction that you've done it yourself as well, really. Yeah,
And
yeah.
feeling it's the same process
Yeah.
as the original movie.
Yeah.
So you're like even more connected to it.
Absolutely, yeah. All the original fastenings and clips and straps and all sorts. Yeah, really good.
So Star Wars then, favourite movie?
It's got to be A&H. It's got to be.
A&H?
For me, yeah. It's got to be.
I'm more of an ESB. I think I like it ending on a downer.
Yeah, ESB was second favourite without doubt. Yeah, but it's that. I think it's that initial sight of the stormtroopers. I suppose.
Yeah.
Always.
I can see that.
Always was interesting. Always.
You wouldn't have. You've got to have A&H before you can have ESB, because ESB wouldn't have made any sense at the beginning. It wouldn't
But
have worked.
it was the Luke and the Han dressing up as well. When you're a kid watching it, you just want to do that, don't you? So that's part of the interest as well, I suppose.
There is. And ESB was pitched just perfectly, wasn't it? Because you saw Star Wars and you were like, when it was Star Wars, and you were like, wow. And then you went back for more and you were like, oh my God, it's getting even better.
And it was a bit darker, wasn't it? And
Yeah. I don't think it quite got better by Return of the Jedi. I mean, it told the story, but I mean, for me, ESB.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. ESB. Yeah, it's up there with A&H, but to me, A&H is my favourite. Yeah. Watch it every day. I could do.
Really ripped you out of the reality, didn't it, with the cantina scenes and how it was all built up.
And since I've got the suit, I've researched it even more, so I know a lot more background to everything now than I knew before. You know, I've really got into it even more since. So,
Found new facets of. Well, that's what we have to do. We have to go back to the old stuff, because the new stuff's just kind of a little bit disappointing for me, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side with it all. Yeah.
Do you want me to stand any closer? Okay.
I hope you're going to edit this down a bit. Yeah, and me. Yeah. This isn't my usual comfort zone. This.
So, favourite character?
Favourite character?
It's a toughie.
Well, stormtroopers aren't quite characters as such, are they? They're sort of background almost. So, although I love stormtroopers, I think my favourite character's got to be Boba Fett. It's got to be. Even though he's not very featured. The two characters to me that look the coolest, it's got to be Stormtrooper and Boba Fett. It's got to be.
But because it's kind of weird, isn't it? Because you watch the movie and you want Luke and Leia in hand to win, and yet at the same time,
they're not your favourite characters.
You're kind of more interested in a lot of the other characters. You still want them to win because they're the good guys, and you've got feelings for them. But there's so much more going on as well. There's so much more interesting stuff.
Yeah. I think it's because they're masked and they're sort of mysterious as well.
Yeah.
You don't know quite who's under there. And
makes them a lot cooler, doesn't it? Whereas Han and Luke, we know about them. They are what they are.
Yeah, exactly. You see them.
They don't appeal in quite the same way.
No. It's all the backstories behind the background characters, I suppose. Yeah.
Totally get that. Well, you're local to Stockport anyway, which is a plus. But how did you find out about us?
Well, firstly, it was not that long ago, to be honest. It was my mum that told me that there was a programme on telly about the V&A.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a stormtrooper on it. And I was like, I watched that. And I watched it. And then I saw you guys before I even knew about you. And then in the titles, I think it said RS Prop Masters, or it mentioned you in the programme. So I Googled it. And I was absolutely amazed to see that you're only 5-6 miles from where I live.
Yeah.
And I was like, it could be anywhere in the country, and you're literally on the doorstep.
Yeah, or world even.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But, I was amazed for that. I thought, all right, I've got to get involved here. And I don't know if you knew, but I had a Stormtrooper suit that I'd had for 20 years, but it was one of the idealised FX ones, I think.
Yeah, because 20 years ago, things were a lot different.
It was one of the ones that all the 501st guys used, and that was all they had, really.
Yeah.
And it was, to me at the time, it was brilliant. It, fulfilled my visions of what a Stormtrooper looks like.
Oh, it was. I remember spending hours and hours looking at them on eBay thinking, I'd really love a Stormtrooper. I really love a Stormtrooper.
And I even built that one myself as well. I got that as a kit from America. So
Yeah.
I suppose technically it wasn't my first time building one. But that was all glued together with like the what do you call,
Like
plumber's melting glue
Oh,
that
right,
melts
yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
So a lot of it got a bit distorted. So yeah, digressing a bit. But so once I'd found out about you guys and the lineage and the way it should be, I was like, I need to get one of them now. So,
Well, it
yeah.
appeals to some people. Some people not as fussy.
I totally get it. I totally get the accuracy of how they made them in the first place.
I like
Yeah.
I like the conversation about it. Someone picks up the helmet and they think
Yeah.
it's really flimsy and stuff, and when you explain to them
Yeah.
what it's all about, I think that's more interesting. And
Oh,
you put
yeah,
it back
yeah.
down, and you're like,
You totally get
Oh, yeah.
the asymmetry of it all. Whereas when you first see them, you think they're symmetrical, they're perfectly shiny and smooth, but they're not at all. They're very much like a plant pot, aren't they?
Rough,
Just squashy and
movie
yeah,
magic.
Yeah.
That
All
was the
covered in
thing.
dimples and all
and
sorts.
I think that was Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
Seeing that on the big screen,
Yeah.
got me into movies. Full stop.
Yeah.
You know, everything from everything in the 80s and then 90s, and then it kind of just tails off a bit. Sometimes a good film comes out, but they're pretty rare nowadays.
No,
But yeah, the whole it's spawned my whole love of movies.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well done, George.
All round nice guy. He might be the other follower for me.
No, he wasn't.
No,
I asked him.
He does like me more than he likes you. He told me.
He didn't.
I'm not going to say he's a lie on live on telly.
He didn't. Well, you just did.
He doesn't like you, and he likes me.
That's not what he told me.
And his wife did the cake for me. You just happened to eat half of it.
Everyone else ate half of it, and you ate the other half.
You did. With brass knobs on.
That's it. I'm getting you done.
What for?
Telling lies.
Right, so the next guy I interviewed was Neil. He has his own little business.
Interviewed.
Well, what is it?
Oh my
Talk
god.
to.
You stick chatted with. Stick a
Chatted
microphone in front of you. You think you're Michael Parkinson.
Yeah, well, watch and learn.
I am.
Yeah, so he makes his own stickers and what have you. He's got his own Facebook page. It's called Star Wars Chronicles. His business, but he loves all things Star Wars, but he's a massive autograph hunter as well. But I'm sure you'll hear more about that now.
This is a bit weird.
So
Not done this before.
yeah, well, hello. I'm RS Paul.
I'm Neil.
Neil, pleased to meet you, Neil. So, have you been to the Star Wars Funday before?
Yeah, I think this is my 10th time. So,
10th time. Wow.
Yeah,
So that's nearly all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's been a great show. It's more fan friendly and it's not
Yeah.
commercial. It's just all about the fans, really.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the reason why I travel up all the way from Torquay to here.
Wow, Torquay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some distance to
Yeah, it is.
cover.
Yeah.
So you've heard about RS before then? haven't
Yeah.
you?
So I've been following you on YouTube and Facebook for quite a few years.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the RPF days when
Oh,
Simon
wow.
actually showed his Stormtrooper costume on there, and it was quite wow. Someone left that in the loft. It was like,
Wow, way back.
yeah, way
back when.
Yeah,
Jeez,
yeah.
God.
So long time lurker of the RPF.
Yeah.
I used
God.
to make props, used to wear the costumes, and
Yeah.
yeah, all
Oh,
that's
that's-
behind me. I've been collecting autographs for like the last 28 years.
Wow.
So big die-hard autograph collector.
I expect there's a room at home covered in them, or is it just?
It's more than
is it
one
just
room.
a book?
Yeah. I think the toilet and the kitchen's the only place that's not got Star Wars in it.
Yeah. So there's. I'll give you an RS Paul sticker.
Oh, right. Cheers, Paul.
Maybe I should sign it for you and put it in the toilet, eh?
Yeah. And I'll give you all my
thank you
swag
very
from
much.
celebration. So.
Oh, I like that. Thank you very much. That's nice, that.
Yeah, it's all handmade. My wife helped make the key rings.
Oh, so you and the wife make them?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So Star Wars Chronicle collection, that's you?
That's my Facebook page. So if you go on the back, there's
Okay.
a QR code that takes you straight to the Facebook page.
Oh, I'll do that later, yeah. Excellent.
So I'm
yeah.
a massive Scout fan, so I'd used it as
Yeah,
the
yeah.
logo.
I'm a massive scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Thank you. Oh, that sticker's going straight on my kit box.
Yeah, there's a few other stickers in there as well.
Oh,
so-
all right, that's brilliant, that.
Yeah.
So, there you go. You heard it here first. Star Wars Chronicles collection. Yeah. Well, Yeah, so you're a massive Scout fan, so you would have gone to see Jedi lately?
Yes,
Yeah?
yeah.
So-
It was good to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So it was 40 years since I last saw it. I was about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And when my dad took me, and then I've just taken my wife and kids, two boys, to go and see it
Yeah.
as well. So it's quite a full circle thing.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, it was brilliant to see again on the big screen.
Oh, so did it feel like you were 6 or 7 again as
Yeah,
well?
it was. Yeah.
I went with my son and obviously the missus, and I felt like I was a little kid again.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Brought back some great memories. But
Yeah.
also, seeing on the big screen, you see more stuff that you wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah.
I saw extra characters that I didn't realise they were in the back behind the
Yeah,
actual jabber
yeah.
and stuff. So it was
Yeah.
good to see stuff that I haven't seen before.
Well, being a nipper when you watched it, I suppose we was overawed.
Yeah.
And now knowing more about Star
Yeah,
Wars,
yeah.
I found myself really examining the armors in it, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
But in the throne room, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, don't remember that.
Yeah, there's 3 human beings with no
Yeah.
mask or anything. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing them before.
Yeah, even watching it on the small screen at home on telly, you don't notice as much until it's on the big screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it still looks good today.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah.
Still a great film.
Oh yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. So, what did you think to the Force Ghosts at the end then?
I didn't like that bit. I would have liked to
Yeah.
see Sebastian Shaw
Yes,
at the very end of it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I've spoke to of our generation
Yeah.
are the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to have seen him. Yeah.
It was good seeing Hayden there, but
Yeah.
it really needs Sebastian Shaw. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was there when he got his face revealed on the on the slide bit of the Victorian shuttle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt a bit odd.
I needed to see the original, and I
Yeah.
really thought it was going to happen, but it
Yeah.
didn't. But other than that, I loved every minute of it.
No,
Yeah.
it was good to see it fully packed out in the cinema. There was a lot of people there to see it, which was nice to see really,
Yeah.
for a film that's over 40-year-old, and then
Yeah.
it's still pulling the crowds in. So,
Yeah, it was strange watching it at a cinema with comfortable seats as well. Because when you're a nipper, you can't sit still, can you? Yeah, so it's just like cardboard seats, isn't it, when you're younger?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so-
it was good to see it.
Yeah. Oh, I was made up. I hope we can find a cinema now that's showing all 3 all at once, and I'll have to get over to
that'd be
see it.
good.
Yeah. Maybe we could persuade my local cinema to do it for RS Paul. Oh, and the RS guys also. I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
Them. Minnows. Minions, yeah. Oh, just saw Becca then. Hi, Becca. So, to everyone that doesn't know, there's a television screen playing behind us. And with my mind, it's quite distracting.
Seeing you guys work.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you didn't have that documentation back then, did you? It was just still photography.
Of course,
Now you've got you guys working on it, showing how actually it's done. And
Yeah.
It's quite cool to see, really.
Yeah. Like for example, the builds that we do. Like at the moment, Rob's doing the Scout helmet tutorial.
Yeah.
And it's quite daunting, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
just
it
get the helmet and just like, oh my god, it's in 2
Especially
halves.
sticking the 2 halves
Yeah.
together.
So it's very helpful in that sense. So
Yeah, no, it's good, especially for people that have not done it before.
Yeah,
They've got no skills on how to put stuff together. Or how do we do it? Because the fear is actually messing it up when you've messed up an expensive item that you've worked hard for.
Yeah.
It can be daunting. But,
Of course, yeah.
but you only learn from your mistakes, so you only do it once.
Yeah, well, thankfully we've got a vac former there, so so we've learnt the hard way, I suppose. Trial and error until we got it to.
What amazes me that you guys could pull off the visor and the faceplate, but the effects couldn't do that. They had to do it out of fiberglass. And I was amazed that big company that's got all the probably facilities to do stuff couldn't do it, and then you guys in a workshop in Manchester doing it and pulling it off and making it look like the original. So.
Yeah, well, that's it. We try and keep everything
To the lineage.
even the bracket, to lineage. So production made armour. With our armour, we've copied the brackets inside.
Yeah.
Because you do get other vendors that'll press the armour together, and it's easier to back away. But obviously, we do it exactly the same as the armour we've got, for example. And same with the Scout helmet. It was ABS.
Yeah.
So. We did, when we first started doing the Scout kits, the full commissions and what have you. We started doing a fiberglass helmet then just for trooping, but it turned out it was just easier to do the ABS one really. So we stuck with that. So we retired the fiberglass form, but that was just for trooping, not for collecting.
Yeah, it was more hardy, innit?
Yeah. But if it's like the EFX one, if it's a collection piece, you'd expect it to be like the screen.
Yeah, what was used on the actual film set.
So you'd expect it to have the...
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you guys got the lineage back to something, so it's always nice to have that on display, you know?
Yeah. Well, we've got... It was quite good with the Scout helmet, because obviously we've got that, but then eventually we had to make the snout greebly ourselves, and it's amazing because Rob and Si got a chance to talk to Ira Keeler, and he had another Scout snout. One from his own. Production made one. So we got it, and because we knew which parts they were. It's pretty much exactly the same. But his, because it was cast for the movie. You see little air bubbles and everything.
Flaws in it.
So
we didn't worry about that back then.
But we were that worried about getting it absolutely perfect. We found out now that we can just make it like that. So everyone that had an air bubble in it would throw away. but now we obviously copy them exactly the same. Obviously we picked up the Scout Blaster off him as well. So
that was cool. Shame he passed away though, because
it's
such a talented guy. And what his hands are touched doing those films and other films like Indiana Jones and stuff. Yeah, it's a sad day.
Yeah, definitely, It's such a nice guy as well.
Yeah, there's one guy I would have loved to have met, and Pete Rizzoni, who did his actual logo is the actual on the side.
Oh, sorry, the logo. That's his business logo, isn't it? Yeah. So, I don't know which way round it should have been, but he put it the right way. The best way it looked on the Scout.
I think it's rotated 180 or so.
Oh, was it?
Rotated 90 or so. Yeah.
So what company was that? Have you ever?
Sorry?
What company was it that Pete had?
I can't remember now.
No.
But he was still working for like ILM. Oh yeah, he had his own like industrial design company.
Oh right, okay. So they pulled him in and
they pulled him in to help out with they called them the Plastic Boys, didn't they?
Yeah.
At one point. To help with the actual production of the costumes and fabrication of the armour and stuff.
So that's pretty amazing advertising.
Just sneak that in.
Imagine being able to do that. That'd be so cool.
So he would have been another guy to find him.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because he had his hand on the Scout costume.
Yeah. That would have been amazing.
I think Nilo's the only one left now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's awful. I mean, it's a fact of life, isn't it? But I don't want to go down that route. But it's awful. It's absolutely awful. But
it's good that we can celebrate what they've created, and it's still good to 40 years down the road. It's really good.
So your favourite movie?
Return of the Jedi.
Definitely.
No doubt. Because that's the only one I can remember as a kid going to the cinema and seeing. So I think I went to Empire, but I couldn't. I probably was too young by then. So.
Yeah. Well, I was 5 when I saw A New Hope. I can remember every second of it, but
really?
I think it had that sort of effect on me. So even though the production for ESB was, I suppose they had a bit more time to get ESB together. I suppose. I've still, people say, I like ESB or Jedi. I love them all, but for me, it was just Star Wars. It was just A New Hope. That was my very first movie. But because you just fell in love with the Stormtrooper. But then, by the time the Scout Trooper came out, that was like the next one that really, really got me. And
it's nice to see it's been sort of echoed in the new films, like the Patrol Trooper, the Shore Trooper.
So
you've still got that like small arcs back to the Scout Trooper. So it's quite nice to see it in the newer films. I wish it was just on there a bit more often. So.
Definitely. Well, it's lovely to have met you, and I'm sure we'll see you next year.
Brilliant, Paul.
Take care, Bob. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Neil looks like he's a big collector.
I think he's got a wall at home just completely coated in signatures.
I was super impressed that he came from Torquay for the Star Wars Funday. I know
all the way to Blackburn.
He mentions it in the video.
It's Blackburn. If anyone did go to Blackburn looking for the event, couldn't find it. It's because it was in
Blackburn.
It was in Blackburn.
If they went to Burnley looking for it.
Yeah, if anybody went to Burnley. It wasn't there, it was in Blackburn. I think that was a bit of a red herring, though, wasn't it?
Well, it spent over 10 years in Burnley, didn't it? Until they had a refit.
Yeah. Jeff, Full Metal Fett.
So I didn't know he was Full Metal Fett. That's a name I've obviously heard kicking around over the years, but never knew that's who he was. I've only just ever known him as Jeff Diamond through Instagram and Facebook.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's me and Jeff go back a long way
Yeah.
on TDH. Probably started building FET stuff around the same time. And he's like a metal fabricator by trade.
Yeah.
And
I have seen
I think
his stuff.
way back when we did the accurate metal jetpack harness, it was based on a load of photos, and it's a found part that no one's found, and something that interests me because I'm a jetpack man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeff was the guy who was making the welded rings and the fixings to go on the back of the jetpack to hold it, and then the buckles, the amazing diver's buckle replica that he makes, which is the same material and the same dimensions and shape and operating system as the original ones. Now, the original ones are really expensive now.
Yeah.
I mean, they were quite expensive like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But now they're expensive and they're difficult to get. And Jeff's replica is stunning. Makes a beautiful replica.
Yeah, I've seen his
I can't
work.
recommend it
Yeah,
enough.
I've seen his work. He is on form, and
Do you know what? They're even
on point.
nice if you're a FET fan. They are even nice just to put on your pants.
Yeah, the US Divers Belt.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just work perfectly.
Yeah.
It's such a great design as well. Anyway, I digress. So Jeff was the guy who lent me his deactivated Uzi for the time that we went to Celebration doing our Super Trooper, and that was quite interesting because I thought that it was around that time when they just started checking props.
Really? Was it because of you?
No, it already. I think it was. I think it was after a shooting somewhere.
Oh gosh.
Well,
did you get it in then, or did you have to go back to the hotel?
For some reason, I'm thinking about the guy who went in the cinema at the Batman movie, but it may not be connected. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, they started checking the props, and I thought it's going to be a bit iffy, this one. Anyway, I think we just smuggled it in somehow, and I don't even think I got it checked at all.
Yeah.
Which is probably very naughty and not recommended for you young kids at home. But as we're responsible people, we knew we was going to be responsible with what we were doing.
Well, you don't want to be taking something like that, then get turned away at the door.
And to be fair, I didn't carry it around for very long because it was so fucking heavy.
So lazy.
Anyway, we did. I remember that we'd met briefly at London, but not to the extent that I would have liked to have chatted to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we resolved that at the Star Wars Fan Funday. So this is the legend that is Jeff Diamond, a.k.a. Full Metal FET. Jeff?
Rob,
Lovely to see you again.
it's been a long time.
An awful long time, and even then it was a very fleeting moment.
Yeah, and it was a long time we knew each other before we even met then.
It's been years, hasn't it? We must probably getting on for 20 years.
I guess it must be. I guess
So
it must be
something like that.
those early days on sort of TDH. and
TDH.
early jetpacks and
So
whatnot.
for those who don't know, you are Full
Full Metal
FET.
FET. Yeah. Long time contributor to the community.
Yeah.
Purveyors of fine jetpack mounting hardware.
Yes.
Thousands of units sold.
There's
I
a
know
lot
you-
of Boba Fett's out there.
I know you guys have...
do you like Boba Fett?
No, I like Sabine Wren. No, for anybody wouldn't know, recently done a Sabine Wren costume for my daughter, and it's wildly popular. I thought it might happen. I mean, the all-white prototype Super Trooper Boba Fett really...
So did you start making a painted Fett? Or has it always been Super Trooper? Because I seem to remember you were doing some dabbling.
Yeah, like everybody, I've got a large collection of large cardboard boxes with a lot of things in them that really need starting.
But I mean, the Super Trooper,
Yeah.
where it all started for Boba Fett. Genesis.
I think my earliest memory is not really even the film. I suppose Empire Strikes Back would have been the first film I saw at the cinema. Yeah, I really am that old. I can remember one of the neighbourhood kids had the 12-inch,
Oh, yeah.
whereas like everybody else had the
Yeah.
3 3/4.
The 12-inch, he's up there.
I have actually got one in my modest collection, but yeah, that thing is as a kid sort of like blew me away. Really, it's sort of like, you know, not only the fact it was like, what do you mean you can get Star Wars men in Action Man size? It was just like, you know, all the parts of the costume that had all this like functionality. And I suppose really it was a better lead-in because obviously the Kenner Palatoy toy we had at the time,
Yeah,
you know,
Palatoy.
it just had no functionality whatsoever, did it? You know, I know the rocket was supposed to work, but
No,
never
but
did.
that must have been the job Star Wars did on us, because I was all about Action Man.
yeah,
And yet, the 12-inch ones,
yeah.
they were nothing compared to them tiny little ones. Maybe it's because you could fit them in your pocket and secrete them in places that your mum and dad didn't know you had toys with you. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose really, I mean,
Easier to lose, though, as well.
easier to lose, but they were pocket money price, weren't they? You know, you could get the latest action figure in, you know, every couple of months or one a month.
They were then.
Yeah.
They were then. There's a guy over there selling one. I think it's about 650 quid or something, and the price is on it, and it's clearly £1.59.
Yeah.
And I remember it being that.
Yeah. I've got
Not cheaper, when they couldn't sell them.
I've got one or two. It's just like I would like to get some valuations done on some vintage things after things I've seen recently.
So do you collect a bit of vintage as well?
I have not for a long, long time. I was lucky in some respects that a lot of my vintage 80s stuff I did actually manage to keep from my childhood and had a good basis of a collection. Managed to buy some things, but
So do
really
you-
in the last 20 years, not avidly collecting.
As I believe, do you think you were brainwashed by the toys, and that really, really cemented your love affair with Star Wars for all these years?
I think so, really. I mean, you know, we're all of a vintage where sort of like, yeah, you would see a film, but it was years before it came on the TV. I remember another childhood friend, they actually had a VHS copy that they owned of A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah, where, you know, when you're going back to sort of Blockbuster's video rental, you know, a man coming around in a van renting videos age, and they actually owned a video cassette, which was
Yeah, the man in the van
crazy back then, wasn't it?
with the under-the-counter stuff you had to ask for.
I've got a childhood memory of that as well. It's just quite weird. But no, I know my dad will never watch this, so I can actually say it. I can remember the man in the van coming around, me and my sisters picking out various cartoons. I think one of the Ewok movies might have been actually in the bundle that night that we picked off, and he shooed us away. He shooed us away. And it was a bit weird. We found it a bit weird, but, you know, we walked back up the road a little bit. Yeah. And then I heard him in a very clear voice ask the man if he had anything of a bit more of an adult content. We were still within earshot.
Could have been video nasties back then.
It would have had to be nasty for him. But, yeah, I mean, it just feels such a different era from things back then, doesn't it? Whereas, like, now it's...
instant and disposable now.
It's instant and disposable. I mean, even the costume stuff, it's before a movie's even dropped. You've had 2 or 3 trailers, and, you know, there are STL files available to print the helmet or the armour of the latest characters. It just seems
and a flood of YouTubers slagging it off. Crazy.
It would be nice for the internet to become a tool of good.
Yeah.
I think, rather than breaking things down so much these days.
All people need to decide, I'm not going to watch this. Because because it's not doing me any good.
Oddly enough, a friend of mine sent me a video in the week. Usually his videos are a bit more racy as well, but it was Barry Norman reviewing A New Hope.
Yeah, I saw that.
Film would it been film 78 in the UK by then?
Yeah, I think so.
And I just it just struck me. It's like, wow, that's how you do a film review, not as things are done now. Like you say, it's just straight on YouTube moaning about.
As it happens, I watched Barry Norman on film 85, I think it was, reviewing Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some stuff, and I'm like, I'd never even considered some of these things that he was talking about. But he did review it. And I think it's missing now, isn't it? But that was mainstream TV then.
Yeah.
We could just put it on.
I mean, how easy would it be?
Whatever time it was, it was later on at night. I think it was after the news, wasn't it?
After the news, yeah. But
and I used to tune in and watch it and think, I'm going to go and see that.
But whether it'd be possible, could somebody take the mantle on and do something like that on YouTube now? Review films?
No, it'd be interesting.
Critically? Not coming on screaming how Disney ruined their childhood or...
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you need a certain calibre of film to be able to review it in a certain calibre of credibility.
Yeah, more highbrow, start on a more highbrow type film.
I'm just so depressed with movies at the moment. And it's never going to get any better. I've realised that now.
It's a sausage factory, isn't it? Yeah. It's stuff's too quick.
Yeah. And then forgotten about.
Yeah, you moved on to the next thing. Whereas, coming back to like Star Wars toys, you would have a good 2-3 year run of stuff which was consistently on the toy shop shelf until the next film come along.
Yeah.
But no, this next film's along in 2 weeks. No one's got time to
and it's waves and it's sold out, isn't it?
It's gone. It's so fleeting. But I was oddly enough heartened by something Kathleen Kennedy was alluding to a few weeks ago of doing a more measured pace for the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think would be a good thing. I know with the sequels they got this original sort of 3-year cycle down to 2. Technically it's easier these days, isn't it? Whereas all those years ago you would wrap principal photography and you would take years for the edit and the special effects to catch up, wouldn't you? It would take it's a lengthy process. Now you can condense it.
I think it's easier now because they've streamlined the writing part so that they don't actually write anything and they just make it up on set. At least that's what it looks like.
I was an early advocate of some recent content has been edited on the fly. I think a few people think the same way, and I think they're possibly right. But again, it's sort of like, why start structuring your next episode over the Rotten Tomatoes you got on last week's episode? You've had a vision, you've pretty much got your series, your film in the can. Stay your course.
So, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Did it excite you?
I'm a man of a mature age, and I enjoy a bath.
You enjoy?
I enjoy a bath.
A bath? Okay.
I can see where he's coming from. It's mixed. Very mixed. I was an early advocate when people were screaming when they were doing standalone movies. That there was a lot of excitement about doing a Boba Fett movie. I was saying to people at the time, be careful what you wish for. And I think to those people, I've probably been vindicated somewhat.
It just seems odd, though. It just seems odd.
I've enjoyed a lot of aspects of it. I mean,
So, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Because some people... I'm a lover of the original trilogy. And some people find this really offensive. But Tim Morrison,
Yeah.
is he Boba Fett for you?
I think now he is.
I've never had a problem with him. I liked him.
I think now he is. I think, because of the way things have gone, you've had the prequels where was Django. Obviously, it's spun down. He's played his own clones, both as the Clone Army and as Boba Fett numerous times now. It's settled in there. And to be honest, it's one of the few edits on any of the special editions that I actually 100% like and agree with.
Yeah.
Is his voice dub. It's
Yeah.
it's done an exercise in tidying things up.
Yeah, I don't think it bothers me at all. And I liked him as Django. I thought he was really good. Mm-hmm. And if the story leads us that way, that he was a clone, and then we know that he is the same guy, I've not got a problem with that at all. Yeah, I liked him, and I like Django. He was the main thing in episode 2.
Yeah,
You've got Darth Maul, Django, and I don't know, maybe Grievous for 3.
Grievous. It's one of those weird things within Star Wars. It's one of the true things I find a bit chilling. And again, we've had like a very similar character, haven't we, in Mando season 3, or whatever that thing that wanted to drink Din Djarin's blood.
Oh yes.
Of the sort of brain in a jar in a machine.
Yeah.
I find it a bit weird. It's almost like you'll remember the original RoboCop from back in the day.
Yes.
There was several concepts like that, weren't there?
Yeah. Well, the reboot of RoboCop, they do that reveal scene, don't
Right.
they? And that was a little bit.
Oh, well, you'll have an advantage on me because I'm very anti-reboot.
You didn't watch the.
I know.
There's quite. It's.
I think the
not a
only
very
thing
nice
of any
scene.
reboot I watched was the reboot movie of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh really?
I think that's the only reboot thing.
But it had the car.
Yeah, they had the car. They had the Daisy Dukes.
Yeah. Wasn't the original Daisy Dukes, though, was it?
But no, it's like another little segue of like reboots, because obviously you've alluded. I'll ask you some questions. That you've alluded to a reboot of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah. I wouldn't have embraced that, but I think now I would have preferred it. So at the time I would have been crying and moaning and.
Yeah. I can see what you mean to some sort of degree, that it would be easier to make those films fit the others.
With what we've got now,
Yeah.
the kind of mess it is with all the different directors and how it's all so disjointed, maybe that would have been the better thing to do. I wouldn't have liked it, but you wouldn't have had to have done it. They could have just gone with a different story and not given us the mess that they did. So it's difficult.
But, are they in the situation now
I just want
where
some good Star Wars.
Yeah. But are they in the situation now where they've created their own mess? Kind of like when Disney first took over and it was like, we're going to have to throw out the expanded universe. I know that was probably the start of people becoming disenfranchised with the franchise. Mm-hmm. But,
That's a great saying.
I can see why it had to be done, because it was a hot steaming mess of side quests, crossovers, and stuff that contradicted the other. It's easy to start with a clean slate.
Yeah, they could have taken some of that stuff and actually made it in live action. Is it bad?
Again.
I'm not really in extended universe, so it doesn't.
I mean,
The expanded universe doesn't.
I can't recall quite off the top of my head. I know I did read a lot of the Timothy Zahn novels and that back in the day when they were out. I did learn to read.
Yeah,
They were good.
Well, you've got an advantage on me there.
No, they were a good read and a good storyline. Obviously, in recent years, that was the big moan with the sequels, because everybody wanted those novels made into films. But would that work? Because you've already read the novel, there's no surprise coming.
Unless you've not read the novel.
Exactly.
I mean, I did read Splinter of the Mind's Eye when I just couldn't get enough Star Wars,
Yeah.
and I actually would pick up a book and try and work out what all them words meant when they were strung together in a
But
sentence.
again, I think the crux for that going forward is going to be Ahsoka with this return of Grand Admiral Thrawn and this allusion to being the
See, I
heir
didn't
to the
know,
Empire.
because I didn't read the books.
Yeah.
Because I was more of a movie kind of a guy. I'm not familiar with too much of it, so seeing him in Rebels is my introduction to him. And he's okay. Interesting live action.
I think it will be. I mean, animation's good. I enjoy a lot of the animation. Yeah, I think his character in Rebels is pretty good, but I think it's not really doing the full sort of master strategist thing good service.
See, one of the problems with the live action is there is that much CG. It is almost animation, so...
Well, it's like this thing, the live-action reboot of The Lion King had more animation than the Disney animated original. Which, yeah...
It's a crazy world we live in.
It is mixed up.
Well, I think Ahsoka's probably going to be the last huzzah of Star Wars that I watch, and if it fails to draw me in, then I think I'm just going to go back to the old trilogy and the original trilogy and maybe the prequel trilogy and just...
I'm probably a little ahead of you. I've already tapped out on a few things.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to finish. So if Ahsoka's going to... So you're talking about Kenobi then?
No, I've watched Kenobi. What was the recent animated Tales of the Jedi?
Oh yeah.
Not seen that. I've no intention of watching Acolyte or Skeleton Crew.
No, I'm not. No.
There's nothing.
No.
There's nothing in there that's attracted me.
That's going to be a no from me as well.
Yeah.
Although I did watch the Tales of Jedi, and I think I binge watched all of them, one straight after the other, and I watched Clone Wars with my son anyway, so it kind of fills in a few of the gaps. So that was okay. I didn't have a huge problem. I'm not a Visions fan.
I'm halfway through this season of Visions. Season 1 of Visions, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Really?
And there were one or two things. It's like I would like to see some mileage on that. But so far, I'm 5 episodes in, and it's just. I don't know, I've been scrolling social media whilst it's been on. Just background. It's just not engaged
gripping.
me. No, not at all.
What about the Wallace and Gromit episode? I've not seen it yet.
So far, that's been the standout for me.
Yeah? Was that good?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. What have we got going on?
No, I just wonder what. Yeah, I just wonder what was going on there.
You've seen something weird at an event like this. Yeah. I mean, Twilight pilots. What's not the like? Some interesting thing. It's family thing as well. It's a nice episode, shall we say?
So, do you think we're going to see you in a movie fet ever, or is it something that
Kind of. With the ever-greying appearance that we've got, I have got quite a few components for the Marshall Cobb Vamp.
Really?
In boxes and ready. More bits on the way. Again, it was something I was thinking when it came out. Obviously, when his character arrived in The Mandalorian, we weren't 100% sure whether Boba Fett was around still. There was the hint, wasn't there, with the Spurs picking up the wounded Fennec Shan, but nothing concrete. But the detail of that costume really grabbed me. It's sort of like, you can see where that's been junked off of being in a Sarlacc for a while. A very interesting costume, but as ever with Fett, there's no shortcuts. You think, right, I get it, I can get this, I can paint that, I can do that. And then you start looking at details. And you see more details, and there's some details in it, and then somebody's trying to identify a part, and then it gets re-identified, and it just seems like that never-ending impossible task. But
So they're hitting the mark then with some of the modern stuff for you?
I think so.
And for your next generation, your daughter obviously is watching the Rebels, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's a bit of an interesting one with watching things. She won't watch the last episode or two or anything. There's a little thing of like, I don't want this to come to an end, so we're always leaving something in reserve. But as we all know, it's always that last episode or that crucial, step that
wraps it up.
Yeah.
Oh, Sabine's getting a photo.
Yeah. But that was one thing that has been recent that has annoyed me. Because I was enjoying Bad Batch immensely, season 1. Season 2 seems to have gone a little sideways with, as a friend of mine says, it's just mission of the week, without too much of a story to follow. And he's a close friend. We're always texting, and it's always like the competition of who's seen the latest episode of what first. And the conversation always starts, have you seen it yet? I don't want to give you any spoilers. And I think he'd got through season 2 of Bad Batch before me. And I don't know, I got round to it like a week later. I had 2 or 3 to binge up on. And I said to him, like, I've caught up, yeah. He said, what do you think? I said, no, not too bad this week. So I'm looking forward to next week's season finale. I said, what do you mean, Jeff? He said, we've already had the season finale. And he's like, sure enough, I reviewed it. I even sort of rewatched the episode. It's like, was that it? It's just like, there was nothing, no cliffhanger.
No, there's not. Well, but there was tech.
Yeah, and obviously Omega finding out she has a sister as such, but it didn't really feel like that whole, leave you on your edge of your seat until the next season. It was a bit of a weird fizzle out.
Yeah, I think it's going to come back with a bang.
I think it will have to.
I wasn't that interested in the first season, but I have got a bit more into it in the second.
But again, it's just, I think it's...
And I wouldn't have even watched the second if it wasn't for my boy.
No. But I think it's an interesting area that's less explored, really. That transition from Republic to Empire, and then that, what we got on the face of it, a 20-year period of the Empire with really very little... we're filling in the old blank, aren't we, now, with series like Kenobi and Andor.
Yeah, some of them we don't need filling in, I don't think.
No, but it's just, exactly, sometimes less is more.
The stories in the universe.
But,
well, it's been great to talk to you.
And you, buddy.
And see you again.
Yeah.
And... let's not leave it so long next time.
No. We'll.
I might even make my way down to Bideford and come and enjoy a bit of the coast.
Yeah, we've had a little bit, and 2 lots of it, in fact. But the Southwest is always open to visitors, but not everybody at once. It does get a little bit too busy.
Awesome.
But
good to see you.
I will. Endeavour to make this visit to the studio.
Yes,
we'll do it this year.
We're back on the FET, so I probably do need to send you over an order for a bunch of stuff anyway. But I'm hoping to get all of them done so that we can have a clean slate when moving on to the next project. And
Interesting times again.
Not have the worry and the stress it puts on me by having these projects linger.
Yeah,
shall we say?
I know, it's sort of like some of your projects of late, they've been complete rabbit holes and a lot of work. There's that striving to get everything.
Yeah, sometimes,
perfect.
Most of the time, if not all the time, you don't anticipate that it's going to be that much of a rabbit hole you're going down.
Yeah.
And then it's only when you look back on it and you think, oh.
I don't think there's a thing I've ever touched where it hasn't been like that. It's like, yeah, that's straightforward. Make one, no. Make another one, closer. And then there's a new reference picture, and on and
new
on.
information.
But it never ceases to amaze me, the information that keeps coming out.
It's really nice to see him and see him with his daughter costuming as well.
Oh, so that was his daughter, wasn't it?
Yes.
Who was she costuming as? It was one of the cartoon characters, wasn't it?
Sabine Wren.
Sabine Wren, yes.
One of the cartoon.
Yeah. No, she was...
You don't watch Rebels?
Yeah, it's cartoon, isn't it? I just can't remember her name. That's all. But yeah.
You'll be seeing a lot more of her in Ahsoka.
I'm looking forward to Ahsoka. I know you're not, but I am. So, but yeah, Jeff, he's
I've been
all
hurt.
nice guy.
Star Wars has hurt me too many times.
I know. I'm trying to... You're digressing now, so I'm trying to get you off it. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything about it, should I?
But, yeah, it's great to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
One person that I did want to meet and chat to, and I didn't get time, was Dave Kennedy.
Oh, you still didn't speak to him?
Not really.
Oh, sorry, Dave. He's been trying to avoid you for years, and he's managed to do it for yet
Not
another
really.
weekend.
I believe you did.
I didn't avoid him. I met him.
I know.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, nice
So-
guy.
So I'm just going to have to listen to the conversation and have my meeting through you.
Yeah, well, we managed to grab Dave last thing when everyone was starting to clear up.
The end of the convention.
Yeah, so it
Because
was
he was busy all
Yes.
day. Every time, like there was not a point where there wasn't a couple of people stood waiting to talk to him and look at his
But that doesn't
prints.
surprise me.
Yeah.
No, it was amazing. His stuff's absolutely amazing.
yeah. His artwork is
We like his
fantastic.
artwork, don't we?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I like graphical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of his stuff is like architectural drawings, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
I like that. That's the stuff that appeals to me.
Yeah.
I like graphics.
It does. When you're walking past some art, it's just like, oh yeah. But it
Really?
reels you in, doesn't it?
Really, you just walk past it and
No, some other art, some other artworks like
yeah. And I struggle with that. I walk past it and I'm either like, I like that, or that's dog shit.
that's what I mean.
I am off and on. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'll walk
I'm either
past.
off or I'm
Yeah.
on.
But just
Yeah.
again, just to hijack this for a second, that's exactly what you like with everything.
Yes.
Food doesn't matter about the layers in it. Do I like it? Yes. No.
I think we're
Done.
talking
That's
about
it. My brain just works like a flowchart. I think it's my autism.
Yeah, I think it's one of your isms. Should we say that? It's one of his isms. He's got a few isms.
It's all the jism.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. No, I'm just the simplicity of the flowchart.
Yeah.
Does it work? Yes or no. That's it.
Yeah.
Eat a burger. Does it taste nice? Yes or no. I don't have to dissect it and be like, oh, I can really taste I can't taste anything. I just taste niceness.
Yeah. And his stuff is good.
Clark is always upset by that when he brings something in and he starts going, right, and this is, I can't do it. Do us one of your examples.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
This is a chicken, and then we've got the cheese on it. And then it's got and he goes on, it's got the honey on, and
The
it's got
rub.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, and a rub, and then it's got the coriander or something. And it's going on about all the ingredients. I'm just like, it's just yes or no for me. Yes or no.
I'm honoured then that it's always a yes. I've never
That's because he's a slag.
Well, it's quite. There's quite a few times I've cooked something and he's ploughing through it and he goes, "I don't usually like this, but this is nice."
Yeah,
Well, there was a
that's
compliment
it.
there. Then,
Binary.
Yeah.
I'm very binary.
We're not going down that route.
No.
Black or white, on or off.
On or
That's
off.
me.
To be fair,
Yes,
that's,
again.
I either
and-
like it, and I can't do.
Shall we call it a Robism?
if you
I can't
break,
do
if you-
fake praise
If you
either.
break
I
that
struggle with
down,
it.
if you break that down, that is him in every element of.
Yeah,
There's no
everything.
middle ground. Good mood, bad mood.
Yeah.
Well,
is.
good mood. 5% of the time, bad mood.
Yeah, but it's at one or the other.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's no.
Don't put a percentage to it.
He never feels. He never feels inclement. He doesn't feel. I don't know if that's the right word. Like
No.
mid ground.
All or nothing. Go big or go home. That's me.
Yeah. So you went big.
And unfortunately, he never
You
went
can go
home. Anyway,
Oh,
back
she's
to,
getting tetchy.
back to talking. I'm going to get tetchy soon. Back to talking about
Oh, is she
David.
good? Okay, yeah. So Dave Kennedy, all round nice guy.
Very funny guy, I thought.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, yeah. Well, considering we were knackered after, a bit of drinking the night before, but a long day at a con, he was. I'd liked some of the drugs he was on because he was still buzzing. Probably because he made a lot of money because he did. Yeah, he had a lot of people there, but he was very happy.
What are we banging on about?
Anything and everything. What
All
can
right.
you think of?
So I killed this fella in Nam, right?
Back in the day. I still can't cope with helicopters.
Not after the Twilight Zone. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, yeah.
No. Somebody showed me that clip once. I went, hey, have you seen it? I went, oh, jeez, I'm never going to not see that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Blimey. So I'm not going to end up drawing that if you're asking.
No. Okay.
We good? Hello,
Hello,
mate.
Dave.
Hello.
Lovely to see you again.
Yes, good to see you, mate, yeah.
So you've come to quite a few of these Blackburn Comic Cons. Well, it used to be Burnley Comic Con, wasn't it?
It was, and I still get it mixed up. I did
Yeah,
a post the other day saying I see you all in Burnley.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've sent 70 people the wrong direction.
Wow.
But yeah, I've been doing stuff with these guys for a few years now.
Yeah.
I like Paul, I like Neil. They've always been really
they're great
nice
guys,
to me.
Yeah.
And I like doing these shows where you know where the money's going for your table.
Of course, yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
It goes to charity with these guys,
Yes.
or it goes to them, which I'm happy about as well.
Yeah, well-
with their other shows.
Yes.
But with this one in particular, this is the one that drew me in. Hey, drew me in.
I like it.
Smell that. So, but I've always tried to work with Neil and Paul because
Yeah.
they're nice and
Yeah.
they do good stuff.
Good
and,
guys doing good, yeah.
And they do good shows
Yeah.
and they get good people at them. So.
Yeah. The first time I met you was last year's. So that was the first time in
Oh,
Blackburn,
yes,
wasn't
that's
it?
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I must have missed you at the other bit, the Burnley one.
yeah, I've always been around, but I look like everyone else. Well, I look like you and everybody else here.
One of the better looking guys here, then I suppose. Yeah.
I'm hoping like if I hang around these things long enough and I do a murder, then I'll get away with it because someone else will get arrested. You know?
Yeah.
There's millions of us with the boulder. I went to Japan. Right. Well, my wife's from Tokyo. Right.
Yeah.
And whenever we go over, we meet this guy called Abby, who's awesome. Like everyone in Star Wars seems to know Abby, and we're in this bit of the middle of Tokyo. I'm carrying this shrine thing with my family and all their mates and that, and there's a good 100,000 people in this thing, and I hear this voice out of nowhere, David Kennedy, like this, and it's this fella, Dr. Abbey, and I'd met him on Facebook and stuff like that, but I just had an absolute blast with him while I was in Japan,
that's
and
great.
he's all about Star Wars, and he's all about this type of thing, getting the stars over and signing stuff. But he said, I said, how did you recognise me? And he went, well, you look like England.
Brilliant.
So he thinks everyone from England's bald with the beard and rocking the specs. So
that's what
I don't
it
know where he
is.
gets that from. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where he gets. So do I need to tell you guys what I do?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
that-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
sure. That was going to be my very next question for
Cool.
you.
Yeah, so I draw, basically. I'm in love with Star Wars, the same as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting point. I think everybody thinks they own Star Wars. Right. After this many years of watching it, I think everybody thinks it's theirs. I don't mean like it's a jealous, possessive thing.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks, well, Star Wars is mine because I saw it at this time and I saw it this way. And I kind of love, that's what I love about it, because you meet somebody else and you'll say, well, how did you get into it? What was your first film? And you get kids at these things saying, Revenge of the Sith. Like, that's my favourite. Because it's the first one they've seen.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm digressing. So what happens when an artist who works under his stairs for 6 months gets out and meets people who want to talk Star Wars?
Brilliant.
I've got a rash as well, I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
But
Well, if you want, you can kidnap Clarky for an hour if you want, if that's your thing.
yeah, I'm always up for a kidnap.
He's got the body of a young boy.
Where's he got that? Where's that in the boot of the car? Anyway, so anyway, I draw and I draw Star Wars stuff,
Yes,
and I like to draw Star Wars stuff at things like this.
Yeah.
And in an ideal world, I'm aiming to be at some point somehow licensed at doing that.
Yeah.
So. At the minute, my main job is I work in comics. I work with John Carpenter making science fiction and horror comics.
Yeah.
But I've also recently started with Dark Horse, working with our boy Nick Brokenshire, who comes to a lot of these. So I've made Star Wars stuff. Finally, I've done official Star Wars stuff, so
that is
I'm a very
fantastic.
happy boy about
That's
that.
a big step on the ladder then, isn't it?
Yeah. Even just for like a bucket list of ticking
Yeah,
things
yeah,
off, you know what I mean? So very pleased about that.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's more of that to come. So I'm kind of hoping that will lead to more things
Yeah,
Star Wars
yeah,
based,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I first ordered something off you for the Rogue One 6 RS Christmas do.
Yes.
What's it actually called?
It's got a name, hasn't it?
Yeah, Secret Santa. So it was for Secret Santa. So I did. I got the.
It was the big Leia picture.
Yeah.
And a couple of other bits, I believe. I
What
can't
was
remember what they were.
The Hut Slayer.
Hut Slayer, yeah.
Guys, please look on Dave's website and
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah. There you go. Can you
Sorry,
see it?
Sheriff. Just go and find something like that name.
That
Search for
Hut
the name.
Slayer picture that jumped out at me. And,
Yeah.
Sadly, Royal Mail let us down.
Oh, Royal Mail did an absolute blinder with us.
Jesus,
Yeah.
what was it? 6 months.
It was getting on for 6 months
And it was-
just to deliver something to the
We
States.
paid
Yeah.
for like a week's delivery,
We
wasn't
did.
it?
Yeah.
So unbelievable.
They just added a few months on to that week. That's all.
Yeah. Well, all the more for when it arrived, she was even more excited.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
she was
hopefully.
looking forward to it so much. Yeah.
I would hate for her to get it 6 months down the line and go, what?
Yeah. But yeah, please look at his website because his art is really, it's the bomb. It's really good.
That would be very kind. Yes, thank you very much, mate. That's very appreciated. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, that's what I do at these things.
Yeah.
Draw my stuff, pack it up at the end of the day, and go to the next one.
Yeah, simple as that.
So in an ideal world, I would stop being Del Boy, the Del Boy
Yeah,
of these,
yeah.
and being excited about trolleys and stuff like that, and just be able to concentrate on the art.
Yes.
So I'm always open for projects and whatever else is coming along. Even though there isn't enough time in the day to keep doing the stuff that I'm doing at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm hoping if I can train my son, who's 6, to just go to Asda and get the big shop in.
Yeah.
Right. Then we're all right. We're good.
Is he off the stabilisers on his bike yet?
Well, I've got him in an automatic at the minute. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm just giving him the short round shoes and just send him off to Asda.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
I just wait for the police to direct him there. Like, no,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So the work's going good. It could always do with more Star Wars,
Of course. Yeah.
as in life, you know.
Yeah.
And I've just realised, as we've gone through this whole entire interview, I've got this funny arm on this corner here. I'm wondering whether I look like I'm misshapen, or like, hey, are you interviewing Salacious Crumb? Or maybe.
A very good-looking version, that is.
Hey, well, thanks very much.
You look a bit. Yeah. And I've noticed you look a bit like Clarky, really. You are like a better-looking version of Clarky.
Well, there could be some sort of demon mirror between us, and we're just seeing what we look like in a different universe
true.
where you've been burned. You can see. So I've got I'd show you, but it's probably weird to do so. My little lad, my wife's from Tokyo. My little lad's
Yes, yeah.
a very handsome little fella, and everyone's going, "Oh, isn't he good looking?" And I'm saying, "Yeah, because he's got all his mum's genes. If he was like me, he'd be like a fox who'd been run over." So yeah, I get it. The demon mirror, it works for me.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, did you go and see Jedi the other month?
Well, I didn't go to that specific showing at that time because recently we'd been to a live concert version with an official Lucasfilm projection of the film on the actual thing. And holy boy almighty. Honestly, that was enough to keep me going.
It's like I'm rubbing elbows with royalty here. What are you talking about?
No, this wasn't an official thing. It was just us paying to go and say, well, my wife bought it as a birthday thing. But I don't know about you, but I was seeing things in a film that I've seen 10,000 times. I'm thinking, who's that shellfish behind 3PO on the
my
roof?
God.
What's going on? The big tongue. And you're learning all this stuff about a film you've seen a million times. Mate, I could just go on
It's
all day
amazing
with
when
that.
you see it on the big screen as well, compared to watching it at home. Even if you've got a big telly, it's on the big screen, it's just like there's so much that you notice.
Yeah.
And as a kid, you don't quite take it.
No, you don't
all
take
in.
it. You don't take it all. And Jedi, more than any of them, is a repeat viewer for comfort for me.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it so many times. It's like I'll watch this and I'm not really sitting watching what's going on. And something struck me. I did a poster recently, just for myself, just a fan poster of Return of the Jedi, and I'll send you the link and you can stick it up on that. But I was trying to. It's probably a good point to finish on because everyone's going home. But,
of course,
but I was trying to figure out why Return of the Jedi over time has got a bit more emotional when you're watching it. And you turn into a dad and things change for you and stuff like that. But there's a bit at the end where Luke tells the Emperor do one, and you realise that he's not just returning the Jedi to the universe by being a Jedi himself. He's taking his dad back.
Yeah.
He's taking his dad back and he's giving him to the Jedi. So he's taking Vader, and what I wanted to do was in my picture, I've got Luke sort of like just looking maudlin like that.
Yeah.
But his cape is Vader's helmet, and he's covering Vader's face up.
Ah, right.
I've just done it like the old, you know, the classic poster with the just a lightsaber. Was it John Alvin? I think he did the concept for it at least.
Yeah.
The lightsaber hands and the
Yes.
blue sort of airbrushing coming off it. I've done it in that sort of style.
Yeah.
But he's covering his dad up because he's taking Anakin back and he's returning him to the Jedi.
Oh.
And every time I see it now, I don't know, it's just a stupid like idea, like, but every time I see it now, I get quite emotional at the end there with Luke because he's saying, you know what? No, I'm taking my dad back. Stuff you is not yours anymore.
Yeah.
So he's getting rid of the Imperial bit of him.
Yeah,
He's giving him back to Yoda and Ben at the end.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a lovely idea. It changes the film for me because when you get to be a dad, you start thinking like, wish I was a Jedi and he'd bring me back from being fat. Something like that.
Brilliant. Me too. Hashtag. All right, well.
Right, okay.
We'll wrap it up there because
no problem, mate. Looks like we're all packing up.
It's great to meet you.
Good to see you again, mate. Yeah.
I can tell I really like Dave.
Yeah.
We do need to spend some more time with him.
Yeah, we need to get him in.
It's his fascination with kidnap and murder is appealing.
He kind of reminds me of my older brother.
Oh yeah.
He's very much like that, isn't he, our Dave? So Dave as well.
Should we get him in for a podcast?
Definitely.
Yeah, can do.
Where you can meet him, and I'll just bring you cups of tea.
Can do. But yeah, I mean, I love his artwork, and I've been supporting it in any way that I can.
Yeah. Well,
You just cut me off then.
did you?
I've
Did
been
I?
supporting it any way I can
Yeah, go on.
over the last few months and year or whatever since we met him.
Oh yeah. You've picked up some art off him, haven't
Since
you?
we met him, and my eyes were opened. I bought some off him. As far as I'm aware, the first time I met him.
Yeah, that was
bought that Darth Maul.
Maul, yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah, I've had a few
lot.
things off him now.
I think it's cool.
Mm.
I think what I like about it is it's a picture and it's mostly black and it's got some colour on it, and you have to look pretty close to see it's Star Wars.
Ah, okay.
I really like that. That appealed to me with that particular one.
Yeah.
Well, he's agreed to loan us some of his work.
Well, you don't need to loan us the mall one. Although I don't think it's going to work too well because has to be right in front of you.
Anyway, he's agreed to loan us something in between, like his events to put up in the background for a podcast. So we could tie it in with it. He could bring us something to put up, and we can have a chat to him.
Yeah, we can talk to him, can't we? Again.
Yeah.
Well, I can meet him properly,
There is a picture that I really want off him, so we can bring that as well.
and we can crisscross. He can do a murder for me, and I can do one for him.
Yeah.
We won't be connected,
Yeah.
other than this podcast. Best cut that out. Big thanks to Neil Dunny and the whole Wonky Rocket team.
Yep.
For organising, for putting on such an amazing show for us fans. I know we appreciate it. Also, we should have one last thought of the day for the Cleveland fireman. His name completely escapes me. But
He's such a nice guy as well.
We met him in London.
Yeah.
And we bumped into him in the night before the show, and we saw him at the show.
Yeah.
And he furnished us with these hats. I've already got a discount somewhere because they thought I was a fireman. So thanks for that.
Well, that's it. He said, I know how cold it is there, and I haven't got any Star Wars merch for you guys, so please accept this. And here we are. So nice Cleveland patches
did
as well.
get a little bit weird though when you started asking him for his calendar of the fire station.
Yeah, they all do them.
Of all the firefighters.
I'm sorry, I can't remember
Just
your
the
name.
yellow pants on.
But yeah, please send us the calendar. Rob will have it up in his office.
Oh yeah, blame me.
Yeah,
You want it.
You're trying to blame me.
One, I don't have an office, and two, you want it.
You've got a massive office though, haven't you, you weirdo? Yeah, so thank you very much. Much appreciated, especially in these cold climates.
Yeah, it's still cold. It's May. It's the end of
It's
May.
crazy.
It's still cold.
Well, it's peeing it down outside now. Terrible.
Is it?
Well, it was before when
Was
I picked
it?
you up, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
And when I got the McDonald's.
that really fine rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, they get you wet. Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's it until next time. Not sure when the next podcast will be or what it will be about because we like to do things on the fly, don't we?
Yeah.
Spontaneously.
Very.
Because I'm either on or off. When I'm on.
In a lot of ways, yes.
I don't know why we bring you into this.
I know. I love it. Clarky brings me in just so he can disrupt. That's his words.
Okay.
Keep you on the edge of your
thanks
seat.
for listening and or watching. And I've been Rob. I'll catch you in the next one.
And I've been RS Paul. See you soon. Love you too.
I don't love you.
Yes, you do love me.
No.
You tell me all the time.
You give me irrits.
You tell me all the time you love me. Probably because you hear your mum saying it all the time.
The cameras are off now, so we can go back to how it usually
He was
is.
still recording.